Our next story, we're going to talk about the GOP, um, and kind of picking up where we talked about the cult of Trump, and and we're gonna and we have always talked about just how wrong Joe Biden is about everything. So this story is just a combination of both. Joe Biden predicted a GOP epiphany post Trump. It's nowhere in sight. Donald Trump has been gone for months, but Republicans are still beholden to him. This is the new Republican Party. And it's not even that new because it has been cultivating since the Tea Party. It's been cultivating since the Obama administration. And it was a grassroots movement against, because the Republicans couldn't stop losing. They would have continued to lose forever, but this movement came along and got their guys in there and said, "You're going to toe our line or we're going to get you out." That's what they did. And every people went along with it. And then Trump was born out of that and took it and kind of put his own spin on it. So the GOP epiphany post Trump is nowhere in sight. That's because they've Trump is their final form. I mean, the Trumpism era is their final form. And there will be no epiphany. It will just be a de-evolution. That's the only way to really truly stop it. But we're gonna start with this story. Central to Joe Biden's presidential candidacy was an optimism that Republicans could and would change when Donald Trump was no longer president. With Donald Trump out of the way, you're going to see a number of my Republican colleagues have an epiphany. Mark my words, said Biden in late 2019. Biden continued to hold on to this belief. And this is Biden's MO. He's so bipartisan, it makes me sick to my stomach. It really, really does. It makes me sick how bipartisan he really is. I don't get it. It's why I really feel like Joe Biden is basically a moderate Republican, because he goes out of his way when he doesn't have to, when he could be fighting and standing and up against the Republican Party and pushing back against them. Instead he's automatically waving the white flag and saying, "Oh, it needs to be together. It needs to be together." These are the same lines that members of Congress have given us for a long time about why certain bills wouldn't be passed. As I said, Biden continued to hold on to this belief, and he touted his record of reaching across the aisle. A month before he took office as president, Biden again predicted, "You're going to see an awful lot of change in the Republican Party with Trump out of the White House," acknowledging it could, however, take 6 to 8 months before he had a strong working relationship with the GOP. So it's been 6 months. It's not working. The bipartisan infrastructure bill has already been halted. And somehow the Democrats agreed to it. Somehow the Democrats all signed on to it. All of them. That almost never happens. But they did. Even the ones who didn't really want to. Like Bernie Sanders. Wasn't very happy about signing it, but he did. He signed it. They're all supporting it. But on Wednesday, every single GOP senator blocked the vote to begin consideration on the bill. They're just stalling it. They blocked the vote for the For the People Act, a sweeping democracy reform bill, the Voting Rights Act, because they know that if voting was more open, Republicans and conservatives would lose more. This is a quote from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, and it shouldn't be any surprise from the ridiculous person that is Mitch McConnell. 100% of our focus is on stopping this new administration. As he said in 2010, where the single most important thing for Republicans to achieve is for President Obama to be a one-term president. They obviously failed. If you stop for a second and think about who these people are supposed to represent. the American people, even if the American people are Republicans, what do the American people want? Overwhelming majority of American people want some form of universal health care. The overwhelming majority of most Americans want to legalize marijuana. Overwhelming majority of Americans want a $15 minimum wage. But 100% of our focus is on stopping this new administration. But people are dying on the street because they don't have access to health care. When there's people rotting away in prisons for non-violent drug offenses. But 100% of their focus is on stopping this new administration. Joe Biden, wake up. They will never be with us. They will never be with you. Now, why you want to be buddy with everybody? It reminds me just like Trump, where he wanted to be buddy with the super powerful and the super rich. And he always wanted to be buddy with these people that were bad for the country, and you just want to be buddy with the people that don't care about you. They don't care about us. And when you and the rest of the Democrats realize that you have the majority in everything, and you could really be having sweeping reform right now, but you don't want it, period. That's the only reason. And at the end of the day, you're going to claim you want to be bipartisan, and when it doesn't happen, because it's not going to happen, as you can see, they are not for it. You can stop and say, I tried, but I guess the Republicans didn't want to. This is garbage. The same thing. Joe Biden is Obama 2.0, but it's even, the mask is even more revealed because he's not black. He's not the first black president. That gave Obama a lot of leeway, and he did do some decent things, but if Joe Biden thinks that Obamacare is going to be enough this time around, it wasn't enough the first time, period. Take control, or be known as a hack president. At the end of the day, that will be your legacy, as a complete and total hack. When the Democratic Party was having a revolution, and you were the Democratic president that fought against it. That's what you will be known as throughout history, Joe Biden, if you do not correct yourself.